Hey you guys, what's up? This is the TheAnimeBlaze coming to you with another video. Uh, it's a Blaze Talks. Blaze Talks. I haven't done one of these since. Well, I haven't done one of these in a while. Uh, Mostly because it's been something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time since before I even started this whole YouTube, the Anime Blaze thing. Before I even started my YouTube channel. So I thought I'd try to bring this to people's attention and just try to get a better grasp, try to give you an idea of what I think it is, and maybe get some references from you guys what it might be. So today's topic on Blaze Talks is the big three. You know, uh, not something about the big three. You know, what makes the big three so popular? Uh, what is the big three? You know, and maybe even uh, the history of the big three, and how the shows that are in the big three now weren't originally the shows that were in the big three. I think the big three has been going on for a while now, and shows have been rotating in and out, and there have been major changes to it. So let's get started on the topic of what should we start on? Maybe what makes the big three so popular and maybe why it's so popular. Um, let's see. The big three: Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. You know, those are the three shows that are in the big three. We all know this, but I honestly, being a person who used to watch Naruto, straight out, I think I can understand a little bit of why it might be popular. And it's only mostly with younger generations, people younger than me, who watch these shows. Specifically with them, that I noticed this. They watch the show, they get hooked onto it. I think that's the major reason why the shows that are in the big three get to their positions, not because not because it's just another anime show that people like to watch and stuff, but mostly for the fact that it's because of the demographic. I think that it's aimed towards, that it's becoming so popular, and that it's going to be within that big three genre. uh Honestly, I think probably right now, I think Naruto is probably the number one. I mean, that's the only thing whenever people really think of anime, it's the first thing that pops into their head right now is Naruto. But why do you guys think the big three is so popular? I'll leave that on that part, and I'll jump into my next subject right now. Uh, well, I already pretty much covered why I think the big three is popular. Demographics. It's all about demographics. Maybe the character. No, I don't even really think characters or storylines. Well, maybe plots and what the show's about might have something to do with it because we haven't seen too many of these in a while. I will say this though: out of all the shows that are in the big three, One Piece is probably the show that would gather my attention the most because we haven't really seen too much of an anime show that actually deals with pirates. I mean, we've heard of space pirates, but never really straightforward, straight pirates out on the open seas, that sort of thing. We haven't really seen that before. Bleach, we've seen guys with big swords before fighting each other. That's not really anything new. Naruto, we've seen. Well, we really haven't seen too many anime shows. Well, no, I take that back. There are a lot of anime shows about ninjas, but out of all of them, Naruto is the one that probably executes it a little bit better. But I'm not saying it's the best. It executes a little bit better than the other ones. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the history of the big three. What I think the big three was before Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So, based on my opinion of the big three is actually a little bit based off of, I guess you could say, maybe the back of a manga book. A manga book, you like maybe not maybe an early volume of Naruto, uh, some other shows or something like that. From Shonen Jump, you'll see maybe Inuyasha, Light Yagami, uh, Ichigo, and Luffy standing there. But honestly, I think that kind of sets up the idea for the big three, big three history. I think the original big three were was well, it's not even Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people do consider Dragon Ball Z to be a very enticing anime show that a lot of people watched and caught a lot of attention. I do not necessarily think that Dragon Ball Z would fit into the whole category of the big three, mostly because it was made before a lot of these other shows came out, and there wasn't even really a big three back then. Uh, I mean, there was popular shows, but there wasn't really any other shows that was that people considered to be on par with Dragon Ball Z. It was taking the world by storm. So basically, in a sense, it wasn't there wasn't even really any competition. The Dragon Ball Z was the number one at the time. At the time, uh, but you move into like the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. You see shows like Inuyasha taking place. So I'm going to start with there. Inuyasha was probably one of the shows that started out the big three. You could bash me, say, "Oh no, that's not true at all." I mean, that's why I'm asking you guys to give me your opinions on what you think the history of the big three might have actually been, because I think it wasn't always Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. I think it started sometime before then. But anyway, I think there was it originally started out with Inuyasha. Uh, then there was maybe a couple of years afterwards. There was maybe what was there? Maybe Naruto came into place. It wasn't really that huge. I mean, it starts out, it wasn't really that big. Let's be honest. But it was pretty popular, and it sort of and just easily, just squeezed itself in to that number two spot. Don't don't say anything yet. But also, I think within the top three with around that time period was maybe even Death Note, because those to me those were the shows that had the most popularity at the time that I noticed that a lot of people were talking about it. Like for example, I didn't really at the time when Death Note came out, I didn't really know what the big three was or what Death Note even was. My friend had to tell me about it, so I learned about Death Note, and here I am now thinking back on it. I think that Death Note was in fact within the big three. So starting out, I think that the big three was probably Naruto, uh, was Inuyasha, Naruto, and Death Note, and maybe even then it moved a little bit further throughout history. After Inuyasha ended, well, it didn't really end, but it just started fading out. Not a lot of people were watching too much of Inuyasha anymore, so Inuyasha faded out of the big three. Then it was just Death Note and Naruto. But then, another show came into play, is to what we know as One Piece. Maybe even, I'm not sure if I'm getting the chronological order correct, but uh, you can correct me on that later. Then I think it was just Death Note and, Naruto. And then I think that a few years later, when anime shows started getting a little bit better, and the current big three started coming into play, uh, you know, after One Piece came in, there was the big three: Death Note, Naruto, and One Piece. But eventually, a lot of people stopped watching Death Note, unfortunately, after L got killed. That and a lot of people kind of lost interest in the series. So, again, Death Note faded out of the big three, which just left it in between the competition that we have now. Then it was Naruto and One Piece. And then eventually, these shows are still going strong. They're still in the big three probably. They haven't been kicked out yet. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bleach comes in and squeezes itself into the number three spot. And now that's where we are now with the current big three. Now, my thing is, is that with these current anime shows that there are in the big three, they're at the spots now. But as we all know, Naruto is coming to an end soon. So is Bleach. I'm not too sure about One Piece though. So eventually, Naruto and One Piece are no Naruto and Bleach are still probably going to be pretty good anime shows for a while until after about a couple of years. Then they're going to fade out, and then there are going to be two more anime shows. It might take a while, but there will be two new anime shows to take their place, and it's most likely they're going to be shonen because that's what the main three are now. But when you really look at it, uh, there's gonna be new anime shows that take their spot. There's no telling what the shows are gonna be like. There's no telling what the shows are gonna be, but I can tell you now that it's gonna be just like it is now. There's gonna be fans of all three fan bases. No, there's gonna be fans of all three series. They're gonna love the heck out of those three shows. There's gonna be biased opinions on a lot of them. People that are narrow-minded a little bit and focus mostly on these shows and say that uh, no other anime show can compare to them. But and that's gonna kill a lot of anime. Uh, you know, but that's essentially what's gonna happen. Uh, but the big three, it's gonna happen. It's probably gonna change throughout history. It's only this is pretty much only really the beginning for repeating time frame. It's gonna happen again and again. You can't really help it. It's gonna happen. But pretty much, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about the big three? Are you like me, where you started watching it, but now you kind of care less about it? You're not as enthusiastic as you were when you first started, and you're just kind of distant. Or are you just love the big three, and there's certain series within it that you actually like. Because I really want to know. And another thing, where do you think the big three originally started with like the three original shows? Because I originally do not think that Dragon Ball Z was in there, considering it was dominating the anime market during its time period. But anyway, uh, I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the big three. And, pretty much this might be the only time I actually talk about the big three. Uh, I'm not too interested in them right now. Uh, I'm mostly interested in other anime shows. Uh, Speaking of which, stay tuned for a video I'm going to be doing on psychological anime, anime shows that actually make you think. But I think this video has gone on long enough about the big three. Again, it's probably the only one I'm going to make for a while. So, with that being said, this is the Anime Blaze ending Blaze Talks. I'm not even going to say episode number, but this is the Anime Blaze ending Blaze Talks. With leaving you guys with the thoughts of what you think about the big three. I'll see y'all later.